long as nothing happens on this final lap, is definitely going to be the 72 of Joshua Durham. Alright guys, with all that information, we're going to go to a quick break, and when we come back, we are going to have some driver interviews. Seeing what happened here coming off of turn 4. Pretty sure it was the 18 of Brian Beach. It was. He gets very loose coming off the corner down into the 19 of Matt Horton. 78 of Brian Pizzicami with nowhere to go here. See the 1 car, Brandon Bennett. He gets into it as well. The 13 car gets clear. 81 gets clear.
And of course, you for all that you're doing. I'm sorry we had to put you through a Pocono race, but you're a trooper.
Sorry, you made me laugh there. Oh, fuck. Oh, that's alright. Played him. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Charlotte Motor Speedway, and welcome to the Autism It's not for Wimps 100? Is it 100 or 150? I'm an idiot. I literally like just searched this. Don't hate me. The 150. I got it wrong in the title. Welcome to the Autism. It's not for Wimps 150 here from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. We're doing the oval, and it's gonna be a lot of fun here tonight. I think the drivers are there's a few drivers on track, but there's some that are getting ready for a pit party. You can see some drivers coming into the pits. John Lozelle and Thomas Harmon, shenanigans into the pits. The best kind of nanigans. Got 3 drivers on track right now. It's the 13 is Travis Masia. We have the 14 out there of Brian Burchett. And we have the 11 out on track as well. That's Travis Dart. But everyone's starting to come to the pits now. We're just waiting on Travis to come in. And Travis is not coming in. He's probably just getting a good lap in. As the drivers get ready to perform a pit party here for all of you to show what they've learnt so far on this track. And to maybe have a big crash because, well, let's face it, we only really get big crashes in practice. So these cars, or these trucks are a little bit weird here tonight. They start off a little bit loose, and then they tighten up more than a Loctite bolt. The drivers are all making their way out onto the track now. There's a 14 of Burchett. He says, stuff the pit party, I'm going to send it. Oh, he stopped. He was just sending it to a point. Everyone's arguing because no one wants to be in the front. Let's see if we can get some organisation into this pit party. Looks like we're going to be leading off with Kyle Kraus and Ken Campbell. Ken Campbell, who was one of the drivers on the outside looking in for the championship. Looks like we're going to have to go one more lap around because these guys are still not in any kind of an order. Nope. Jonas just had to take out the cone. Remember, cone lives don't matter. They can suck a big D. Alright, so it's going to be Kraus, Campbell, Lozelle. Got the 94 on the outside there of Sarton. We've got the 14 of Burchett. Got the 39, that's James Watson. That's going to be your front 3 rows, the top 6 in the starting order here. Got the 2 Autism awareness cars, nose to tail on the inside there. Frank Isaacson in 24, the 64 Jonas Marquez. And we're off and racing here for the pit party. See some of the faster guys are at the back seeing how they can work their way through traffic. We're going to see a few cars getting loose here in the pit party. A few cars getting tight. 3 wide towards the back. That's never a safe thing. Oh, and the 94 car, Cameron Sarton, in the fence. Remember, the top 12 in points go through to the playoffs. And even though Jonathan Hernandez is currently scored as the second position. Oh, as James Watson gets fucked. He caught the wall and then he got caught by the 33 of Matt Horton. And he got set back into the wall again. And that is my one for the broadcast. The Brian Pizzicami in the 78 trying to make a move on the outside of Matt Horton right now. A move which is actually very popular around here in Charlotte. Couldn't quite pull it off though. Frank Isaacson storming his way up the inside of Brian Pizzicami. He sends Pizzicami into the fence. And Pizzicami now has a very lonely practice at the back of the pack with a heavily damaged car. He'll probably just end it here, go to the pits, grab out his spare car and keep on going. I was surprised. These guys are not having as much contact as I thought they would. Are these guys actually practicing? What is this? Someone towards the back there, dropping off the pack. That was the 14 of Burchett, who is surprisingly in 14th right now. Oh. My overlays are a little bit, how's it going right now? So let's just do a quick restart on them. The two of Christian Poe start to join the fray now. He hasn't got a lap in just yet. There we go. Now we've got a working overlay. Now these cars will be transitioning out of being loose and into being tight as they're starting to burn up their right fronts. Although tyre wear is not an issue, it's more the tyre heat that becomes the issue. As we go 3 wide on the back straight, two Autism awareness cars trying to swallow up Matt Horton whole, and they actually get there. Frank Isaacson actually providing the slide job on the 33 of Matt Horton. Now Thomas Harmon with nowhere to go. Just about contact there with the 33 and Matt Horton. Five of Mark Pentacuff getting himself into the outside fence zone 3 and 4. But Frank Isaacson is one driver who has really been improving in leaps and bounds since joining this league. When he first joined this league, he was a solid back of the field runner. And now look at him in practice. He is right up there, mixing it up with the best. Like, he is actually holding off Thomas Harmon right now. 3-time champion. Cameron Sutton jumps to the top of the timetables here in practice with a 30.306. 0.03 of a second faster than John Lozelle in P2. Oh, and around goes Crescampo. Unfortunate for Chris. '64 Jonas Marquez. He's going really slow now. I think maybe he's trying out a tyre saving strategy here in practice. 38 Thomas Harmon has finally gotten around Frank Isaacson. Now Frank's got to deal with Matt Horton. So Frank looks like he's not quite settled in that truck. In fact, he's just caught the wall coming out of turn 4. Ran it a little bit too hard and too high. Something that I plan to be next week. There's the 8, Brian Harris. 24, Frank Isaacson. Frank currently down 17th in the timetables, but bear in mind he's only 0.3 off of the leading time. 0.3 around here is just about nothing. And I'm only saying that to validate myself because I'm the 16th fastest person in the session, although my time does not matter. So Frank's actually in 16th because my time does not count. Currently have 18 drivers in this session, 19 people in the server altogether, making the strength of field a 26.85. And everyone who is in the server has put down a lap time. Slowest of which at the moment is Ray Zerkat in the 101 car. Although it seems that he has exited stage left from the session, possibly. Not entirely sure. Oh, my computer is making sounds. Yay. '14 of Brian Burchett. I haven't covered Brian too much yet. He's an A-Class 2.41 with a 1692 I rating. Currently in the 9th position in practice. 0.177 off the leading time set by Sarton. Have a look at his career stats so far with the Output Racing League. That's if he's got any. I don't think he does. I gotta find him. And no, he doesn't. Oh wait, he's got 2 starts. That's it, just 2 starts. It looks like we've got to sort out his number on the website because his number's 0 in there. He has an average start of 11th, an average of finish of 11.5, which is not too bad. He got 11th at Darlington and 12th at Kansas. Oh, there's the 38 Thomas Harmon getting loose. Same too with Sam Niederhelm in the 66. Oh, and the two of Chris Champoy joined them. With 11.5 minutes left here in practice. There's still plenty of time for these drivers to get on track and try and improve their times. So while they do that, we're going to put in a closer camera angle here, and I'm going to shut up for a few minutes. Alright, I'm back. There's a quick thing of Ken Campbell. He's on the outside looking in the points. Currently, the 12th position car is going to be TJ Crampton. But TJ is not going to be available to race tonight. Another notable absentee from tonight's racing will be the 10 of Alexandra Butters. Butters unfortunately is on call for work and will not be able to make it to the racing action tonight. And I don't see the 4 of Jaron Sanchez yet either. And because of that, Sanchez is actually going to be out of the running. He would literally need to win tonight and win next week to be in the running to be in the top 12. As we have about 4.5 minutes left here in practice now. The top 10 as it stands is Cameron Sarton, Matt Horton, Thomas Harmon, John Lazelle, Brian Pizzicami, Ken Campbell, Chris Champeau, Travis Stark, Kyle Kraus and Travis Massia. We still just have the 18 drivers plus myself. But strength of field from before still counts. As Mark Penscuff makes his way into the pits. Got several drivers on track, including Ray Zerkat and the 101 machine. There he is, coming out on track. Zerkat 3 starts in the league at Atlanta Auto Club and Las Vegas. He's one of the more decent qualifying people. Qualified 2nd at Atlanta, qualified 8th at Auto Club and 3rd at Las Vegas. But his finishing results have not been so good, 20, 20 and 18. Hopefully we can fix that up. Average start 4.33, average finish 19.33. But hopefully better results coming his way soon. And Zerkat goes immediately up into 15th place now. I said such tight margins around here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Oh, there's the 2 of Chris Champeau gets loose. That's in turn 4. I think he's jettisoned it straight into the pits. Of Travis Stark coming out on track. Around Jonas goes Zerkat on the inside. Jonas using the momentum to stick with him. Just about tapping that turn 4 wall. Zerkat with the fresher tyres. Actually, no, I'm wrong. Marquez with the fresher tyres. He's only got 2 laps on him. Berserkat has 4. And that's 3 and 5 when they cross the line this time. The only difference of 2 laps in the tyres, but it still counts. Oh, and around goes Tramper Start. Just tapping the inside fence. But we're going to go to a commercial break now. When we come back, we'll have the results of qualifying. So make sure you guys stay tuned. The race here for the Autism, it's not for Wimps 150 from the Charlotte Motor Speedway, and coming up shortly. We are back here for the Autism It's Not for Wimps 150 here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, live and exclusive on the Aussie Sim Commentator channel. Qualifying is complete, and Thomas Harmon has taken the top step in qualifying with a 30.262. On his outside will be the 33 of Matt Horton. P3 will be the 60 of Kyle Kraus. P4, 23 of John Lazelle. P5 will be the 15 of Ken Campbell. P6 will be the 101 of Ray Zerkut. P7 will be the 13 of Travis Massia. P8, the 5 of Mark Pentecoff. P9, the 11 of Travis Dart. With P10, the 2 of Chris Champeau. 11th, we'll have Frank Isaacson and Cameron Sarton. We've got James Watson in 13th. Jonas Marquez, 14th. Brian Harris 15th, and Sam Niederhelm in 16th. And then it's going to be Brian Pizzicami and Brian Burchett wrapping up the field. So I got one Brian with a Y and two Brians with... Actually, no, two Brians with a Y and one Brian with an I. That'll make it easy for me. We're only going to get one pace lap around the Charlotte Motor Speedway before we get underway here for the Autism It's Not for Wimps 150. 100 laps of this mile-and-a-half track to tackle. Now, a couple of things to take note of is the first start is on green. All the restarts, if we have any, will be on the leader. The field is making their way down the back straight. Everyone is in order and where they're supposed to be. 18 cars to take the green flag, 19 people in the server all together. Strength of field in this race is a 26.85. Here we go, coming out of turn 4. The pace car is in. And we are off and racing. For the Autism It's Not for Wimps 150 here, live and exclusive from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. And Matt Horton in the 33, taking the advantage on the outside lane. He's going to absolutely send it, but so is Thomas Harmon on the inside line. Side by side they go through turns 1 and 2. And Thomas Harmon almost came up in front of Matt Horton to stamp his authority on this race to begin with. He does so now in turn 3 as Matt Horton slides in behind him. Just setting it on crashes right now, just in case someone gets loose back in the pack a little bit. You want to be able to see it if something goes wrong. Oh, there's almost contact there between Zerkut and Pentecoff. Everyone survives the first lap and a half of this race. Everyone's trying to mostly get single file here by the looks of things. Try to play a little follow the leader on the inside line. Although the 2 of Chris Champeau looking strong here on the outside line, trying to go around the 5 of Mark Pentecoff. And he gets there. Moves himself up into the 8th position. He's going to look for the move on the 13. It's Travis Massia. He gets the overlap started. Chris Champeau not one to save tyres around here by the looks of things. Pushing as hard as he can. There's the 94 of Cameron Sarton. So he gets his way around Travis Dart in the 11th. Moves being made up ahead as well. 15 of Ken Campbell, who's fallen victim to Chris Champeau. There's the 101 of Ray Zerka as well. Chris Champeau really utilising the side draft in these trucks, getting right up on their right rear quarter panels, putting all the air from his nose onto their spoiler. As he is making his way through this field. And doing so at quite a wicked pace as well. You know, when you sit on the outside of someone's quarter panel like that, it acts like a parachute for the car in front that's being side drafted. Especially at super speedways. Still Thomas Harmon leading the way at the moment though from Matt Horton as I chose the wrong car to look at. Look at that, Chris Champeau already in the top 5 and he's battling for 4th now as he gets on the outside of John Lazelle. Let's take a look from the back of the 38 car of Thomas Harmon. You see Chris Champeau trying to fight his way into the top 3 now. You see Matt Horton all over the tail, Thomas Harmon as well. Looks like Chris Champeau for the moment content with 4th, possibly. We haven't seen him peek back out again. Yeah, that just an ever so slight lift from Thomas Harmon going into turn 1. .33 to Matt Horton using all the draft. Look how close he got. Some amazing camera angles here. But Chris Champeau is going to try for the inside move now on Kyle Kraus. That's for 3rd. And he gets that move made. Going to be one of the only inside moves we've seen Chris Champeau make so far in this race. Chris Champeau trying to go after the 2nd place Matt Horton. But he has burnt up his right front already. 23 John Lazelle trying to fight back on the inside of Chris Champeau. As I said, it's not the tyre wear that'll get you around here. It's the heat that you put into the tyre that'll really get you. The round and track tyre wear numbers have been pretty low. But the heat soak into that right front especially is what's getting everyone. Look at Chris Champeau go. He's turning his defense into offense as he's trying to get to the outside of Matt Horton now. Couldn't quite get there this time though. Matt Horton now takes a slightly wider line into turns 1 and 2. That was all the invitation that the 2 needed, and we have a caution on the track. I think this one's involving the 13 of Travis Massia. It does. And there's an 8 of Brian Harris as well. Let's roll this back and see what happened to these 2. They're battling along the back straight. Does Travis come down or does Brian go up? Brian's going up. Brian goes up and contacts the 13, and to the inside wall they both go. Actually, no, they both missed the wall. So it should only be very slight damage then, because it's just these two contacting each other, and it's not very hard contacts. But that is unfortunate for both those drivers. For that, we're going to go to our first commercial break. When we come back, we'll have the run to the green flag pit stops. So make sure you guys stay tuned. We are back here for the Autism It's Not for Wimps 150 live and exclusive from the Charlotte Motor Speedway on the Aussie Sim commentator channel. And we have 5 cars that didn't pit. Kyle Cross, Ken Campbell, Cameron Sarton, Travis Dart, and Brian Burchett are your top 5. They did not pit. Thomas Harmon, the first car to pit, has come out in P6. We've got Matt Horton, Chris Champeau, Mark Pentecoff, and Frank Isaacson wrapping up the top 10. It looks like Kyle Kraus choosing the inside line here for the restart. And he also gets to control when to go. This will be an interesting restart with the top 5 on older tyres. They've got 13.5 laps of racing hard and 2.5 laps of pace laps on their tyres. You can say 3.5 laps because, you know, the initial pace lap to start the race. But here we go now. Pace car's going to make the hard left turn to go into the pits. We're off and racing.
Go. Green flag.
Kyle Kraus with a huge jump here on the restart. Thomas Harmon immediately down to the inside line. He's already gobbled up a couple of people. He's made his way to 4th. We'll have to check back to make sure that he didn't change lanes before the start-finish line. But look at the battle of old tyres versus new tyres. Remember, only 14 laps of hard running on these tyres. Thomas Harmon with completely fresh tyres. We only have 2 sets in the pits. But Thomas Harmon only has 1 set of tyres left, so does the rest of the field, barring who was the top 5. So now it's a big strategy game. And to be fair, Sutton holding on strong on the outside line here, not letting the fresh tyres on Thomas Harmon's truck bully him. This will be slowing Thomas Harmon down in his progress. Gonna allow our 2 leaders, Kyle Kraus and Ken Campbell, to get away a little bit. Ken Campbell, definitely one looking for a good result, as he's on the outside looking in for the chase for the championship. It's still side by side, Sarton and Harmon go. Ken Campbell's sitting in 14th right now, 2 spots out of the cutoff. And he is 23 points below the cutoff line. So if he can maintain second place here, this will be big for him. John Lozelle gets in behind Thomas Harmon now. Cameron Sarton still holding on very strong on that outside line. I wonder how long his tyres will be able to take it as he closes the door on Thomas Harmon there on the front straight. And here comes John Lozelle rolling that outside line. And he immediately takes over third. John Lozelle is on a charge. To the inside of Ken Campbell he goes, take over second. Thomas Harmon still mired back there in 5th. Kyle Kraus, now the only obstacle between John Lozelle and leading this race. John Lozelle faded to the outside, went to the inside, and he's going to try and make this move stick. Oh, close quarters in turns 1 and 2. But John Lozelle gets there. I'm not sure if he's clear yet. He is. But John Lozelle clear, leading this race now. Thomas Harmon still stuck back there in 5th behind Cameron Sarton. Let's have a little look back in the pack here. I saw a little bit of a grouping back here. Got Frank Isaacson, you've got the 78 of Brian Pizzakemi, 13 of Travis Massey, the 5 of Mark Pentacuff, 66 of Sandon Niederhelm, and I think the 64 of Jonas Marquez back here as well. These guys have about 1.1 second gap to the front pack. And most of these guys pitted. These guys are actually battling over 13th right now. So Brian Pizzakemi going to the front of this pack and he's taking off. The 94 of Sarton and the 38 Thomas Harmon battling, commencing once more. 33 of Matt Horton starting to buy into this battle too. There's a 39 of James Watson as well. Thomas Harmon's probably caught a little bit by surprise by the performance of these older tyres around this track. As I said, tyre wear is not really the big issue around here. During the pace laps, you can cool out your tyres and get going again. There's probably only about 5% difference between Thomas Harmon's right front and Cameron Sarton's right front. That's, you know, tyre wear talk right there. But it looks like maybe the older tyres are starting to lose their advantage here as Thomas Harmon gets around Sarton finally to take over the 4th position. James Watson following suit on the inside. And Matt Horton still trying to decide which lane he wants to be in. Looks like he's going to take the inside as well. Ray Zerkut trying to buy into this battle as well. He's sitting in 8th right now. And there's the 8 of Brian Harris as well after being involved in that incident. He's trying to take over 8th from Zerkut. close quarters battle here at the tail end of the top 10. So it looks like they've all single filed out now. So, Sutton falling down to 7th after defending from Thomas Harmon for so long. Now Thomas Harmon has to try and tackle the top 3. Ken Campbell, the first name on his list. And John Lozelle not exactly flying away with this race. He's only got a 7/10 of a second gap over Kyle Kraus. That's that 14 laps difference between those tyres. Here comes Thomas Harmon now. He's right on the tail of Ken Campbell. So Ken Campbell looking for a decent result here, trying to get himself above that cut line for the chase for the championship. Thomas Harmon rim riding around the outside, trying to gain the momentum advantage. He gets it. Now can he hold on to it? Leaves the open middle very open. Very inviting there for the 39 of James Watson, but he doesn't take it. Thomas Harmon takes over the 3rd position now. It's very wide around here, is doable. We've seen it in practice. But it's very dangerous to do it in the race. The next person on Thomas Harmon's list is the 60 of Kyle Kraus. He wants to get around Kyle Kraus like a bad habit. .39 James Watson actually looking very racy here right now. So too does the 101 of Ray Zerkut. We could see a battle for 3rd before we see the battle for 2nd unfold. See James Watson trying to use the momentum of the outside line to gain an advantage on Thomas Harmon. Peeking to the inside ever so slightly. He's not going to get there this time. Takes a higher line in 3 and 4. And look at that, he's side by side with Thomas Harmon now. The outside line is the way to go to make passes. At least in 3 and 4. See how he goes in 1 and 2. He almost made contact with the 60 of Kyle Kraus. But he's going to get there. He's got around Thomas Harmon. Oh, and he's in the fence. Ray Zerkut scattered all the way down to the inside wall to avoid. And here comes the 8 of Brian Harris to take over the 4th position. Zerkut really unlucky in that situation. But he thought that crash was going to be bigger than it was. Here comes the 38 Thomas Harmon now looking for the outside run on the 60 of Kyle Kraus. He got shown the way by the 39 of Watson, and he takes that to the advantage, as now he's got to make 1.7 seconds to our leader, John Lozelle. Everyone else now starting to get around the outside of Kyle Kraus. Kyle Kraus's tyres must be starting to fall off a little bit here. If anyone can close this gap, it's going to be Thomas Harmon. Go have a look at our race leader, John Lozelle. There he is. We'll check out his stats here as well, just real quick. John Lozelle, 75 starts. He's got 2 wins, 23 top 5s. His rating is a 101. And his history here at Charlotte. Got 4 starts at Charlotte, average start of 5.33, average finish of a 6.75. He's led 24 laps around this track altogether. There's only 8%. No wins here. He's got 2 top 5s and 3 top 10s. He's looking pretty good around here at the moment. Find out all kinds of stats on the website. You go to the drivers tab and click on the driver you're looking for. Be able to see what their stats are. If I go click on myself, for example, I've got 19 starts altogether. Average start of 10th and average finish of 10th. That's not bad. I've led 16 laps in my career. But look at the gap that John Lozelle has. We've got a battle for second as well. Ray Zerkut going around the outside of Thomas Harmon. The 8 of Brian Harris trying to get in on this battle as well. And Zerkut just clean around the outside. Thomas Harmon takes over the second position. Brian Harris, after being involved in that earlier incident, trying to make something of this race as well. See the left side of his truck's all scraped up from the contact that he had with the 13 of Travis Massia, who himself is in P9. A great recovery for the 2 cars involved in those earlier incident, or involved in that earlier incident. As fairly shortly, cars that did not pit, we should be seeing starting to think about coming to the pits within the next 8 to 15 laps. With the caution flag period, that will allow them to extend their pit stop cycle a little bit for better fuel mileage later in the race. And they'll finally have the ability to put on some fresher rubber too. But it also means that if we get a late race caution, they will have the advantage because they'll have an extra set in the pits. I think I can see Battle Pack in the middle of this pack. There there's Cameron Sutton, who's getting overtaken by Travis Massia actually. Oh, Travis Massia in the fence. So that's going to be Massia dropping back a little bit here. The 2 of Chris Champeau now back into the top 10. He's all over the back of Sutton's number 94 truck. Check out the stats on Cameron Sutton here actually. An average start of 10th with an average finish of 5.5. 3 top 5s and 4 top 10s. And his overall rating is a 101 out of his 4 starts here with the Output Racing League. These guys are also catching up to the back of James Watson, who earlier on in this run had running into the outside wall. So the action's starting to heat up here in the Autism It's Not for Wimps 150 from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. And no one's actually putting a dent in this lead from John Lozelle. He is running away with this. 3 seconds is the gap between Lozelle and Zerkut. As we now set the cameras to focus on crashes. Hopefully it will stick with the side-by-side racing as we see the 11 of Travis Dart trying to battle on the inside of Christian Poe for the 10th position just in front of them. Cameron Sarton trying to hold off from James Watson. Well, actually trying to overtake James Watson. James Watson running that high line real nicely right now in 3 and 4. Defending quite well, although Sarton definitely hunting him down. The multi-groove racetrack we have going on right now is definitely providing quite a bit of action for us. James Watson still defending for his life, although he's really close to the outside wall and into the fence he goes coming out turn 4. He's going to lose out not just on 8th, but on a lot more than that. As we now see the 78 of Brian Pizzakemi buying his way into this battle. He's just taken over the 10th position from Chris Champo, and he's trying to get into the upper echelons of the top 10. The 4 of the 5 drivers who didn't pit earlier are still in 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th. So you know, the older tyre strategy, definitely not something to sneeze at. Although we have gone through quite a few more laps than what we did previously. Those could provide a little bit of entertainment as we are starting to head towards the halfway point in this race. We'll get there when John Lozelle hits the start-finish line this time, which he does right now. So we're halfway home, 50 laps down, 50 laps to go. That means that we've completed 75 miles of this 150-mile long race. If you want to know what that is in kilometers, well, I can't be bothered doing the math. You see Brian Pizzakemi now making his way into this a little bit more. He's gotten himself into 9th now, getting around Cameron Sarton. He's now on the back of Kyle Kraus. Kraus actually using a new paint job here tonight. Definitely looks good. One of the better paint jobs that we usually see. And we're actually talking about the 11 of Travis Dart he's trying to get around, because I'm an idiot. Travis Dart trying to get around Kyle Kraus. Kyle Kraus does have a really nice paint job on that truck, actually. And he's coming into the pits this time. So too does the 94 car of Cameron Sarton. I think James Watson's coming into the pits as well. Same too for the 14 of Brian Burchett. The green flag stops underway. James Watson was actually one of those who pitted under the caution flag period. We're looking at our 3rd place, Ray Zerkut, who got overtaken by Thomas Harmon at some point in this race. Still, no one has been able to catch up to John Lozelle leading the way. As a few more people have come into the pits now. We've got Mark Pensicup in the pits, Travis Dart, Ken Campbell. And now at this point, everyone has pitted at least once. We're looking at the 13, Travis Masia. Got a little bit of a lead here over Jonas Marquez. This is 9th and 10th. There's the 60 of Kyle Kraus with his fresher tyres. Look at him carve his way through these guys. Kyle Kraus, the leader of everyone who's come to the pits so far. But once the actual leaders come in for their green flag pit stops, he's probably going to be in pretty good position here. With the speed that he's carrying right now, the undercut strategy could definitely be something that works around here. As some of the other drivers who have come into the pits making their way through the leading traffic as well, Cameron Sutton and Ken Campbell. There's Travis Dart in the 11 as well. Into the pits comes the 2 of Chris Champeau. He's seen the advantage of the fresher tyres and he says, I want me some of that. '64 Jonas Marquez. Just dealing with the faster lap traffic now. As the 38 of Thomas Harmon has come into the pits. So John Lozelle would want to come into the pits this time so he can cover up the advantage that Thomas Harmon will have from having the fresher tyres. And just like that, the 23 of John Lozelle is in the pits now. He's just got to hit his marks perfectly as Ray Zerkut now takes over the lead, staying out just a little bit longer. Jonas Marquez wishing he would have pitted already. Coming along the back straight now. I'm looking to see if any more of the leaders are coming into the pits. Not yet. As the 8 of Brian Harris is in the pits. Jonas Marquez has just gone a lap down. Thomas Harmon actually comes out well behind a lot of the rest of the field. John Lozelle currently the first car 1 lap down. We'll see how long that lasts as Kyle Kraus is going around him. Kyle Kraus effectively the race leader right now once everyone does their pit stops. There is Kyle Kraus, but there is John Lozelle on the 23. He's on the outside of Matt Horton, who still hasn't pitted yet. There's only 7 laps difference between these 2 cars right now. Previously on the restart, there was 14 laps difference. Now there's only 7. As the leader has now come into the pits, that's Ray Zerkut. I think Matt Horton's followed him as well. He has. This only leaves Frank Isaacson, Jonas Marquez, and Travis Masia as the cars who have not pitted. So Frank Isaacson currently leading this race. And he has scored as the leader too, so bonus points heading Frank's way. There's another driver on the outside looking in for the championship. At least I think he is. Let me have a look, double check this. I've got to fact check myself right now. Yeah, Frank Isaacson on the outside looking in, sitting in 15th position. He's 11 points behind Ken Campbell, so that puts him 34 out altogether from the cutoff line. These bonus points will definitely be helping him for leading the lap. Here comes Thomas Harmon now. He's coming onto the back of the 60 of Kyle Kraus. As I think Frank Isaacson's just come into the pits this time. He has. This is going to hand over the lead to the 64 of Jonas Marquez. You also got Travis Massier in behind him. These two have not pitted yet. They could be waiting for someone to make a mistake on their fresh tyres, which is not a bad strategy at the end of the day, but it's not a viable strategy either, just in case nothing happens at all. And here they come this time, both of them are in. This is going to hand the lead back to the 23 of John Lozelle. Travis Massier, I think, missed the pit entry there. Way too fast coming in. We'll see if he has a speeding penalty or not. But here are your two leaders, John Lozelle and Thomas Harmon. Lozelle with 1 lap fresher tyres. And Travis Massier was actually scored as a leader on that lap, so he gets some bonus points. We're waiting for these guys to pass the start finish line so we can see the true gap. I think it's only about 0.2 of a second right now. It's sitting at about 3.5 tenths. There you go. That's the gap between first and second. We're going to keep an eye on this little battle. It's because Thomas Harmon does close in a little bit on the back straight here with the draft advantage. But it's just not enough to really make a difference in this race. As we are now on lap 69 of 100. Nice. We're getting ever closer to the business end of this race, and Thomas Harmon definitely looking racy on these fresher tyres. He's got no lapped cars to distract him from his personal goal, is trying to win this race. So Thomas Harmon, who has a 38-point lead in the championship right now, he's absolutely locked in. There's no way that he can miss the championship fight from here. Even if he misses next week and crashes out of this race, he is absolutely locked in. It looks like Thomas Harmon just can't quite close this gap. Trying his damnedest right now to close this gap, he just can't quite do it. That 23 car of John Lozelle just far too strong right now. John Lozelle sitting fourth in the standings. 70 points off the lead. He's not locked in, but this will go a long way into helping him get locked in. John Lozelle, who's had 75 starts with this racing league, 2 wins, 23 top 5s, and 42 top 10s. Average start of 6.535 and an average finish of 9.95. And that's his career stats, that's not just season stats. We'll have a look around his Charlotte stats. His average start 5.33, average finish 6.75. Around Charlotte, he has 2 top 5s and 3 top 10s. No wins though. So this could be his first one. Got 4 starts around here. As here comes the 64 of Jonas Marquez to unlap himself with his fresher tyres. John Lizelle just hoping that Marquez does this quickly and without impeding him. And it looks like that is the case. But I still think he lost out on a little bit of time to Thomas Harmon there. Got another one just in behind these guys, Travis Masia, who was involved in that first wreck. Another person who's jumped right up the order, Brian Pizzakemi in his 78 truck. He's currently sitting in P5. So here is the battle for the lead. Thomas Harmon trying to get to the outside of John Lizelle, just trying to run the different lines so he doesn't burn up his right front, and also trying to gain the momentum that the outside line can provide. But for the moment, we're going to go to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to see how this battle is going to unfold. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Welcome back to the Autism It's Not for Wimps 150 here from the Charlotte Motor Speedway, live and exclusive on the Aussie Sim Commentator channel. And the battle simmered out a little bit. It looked like they were about to have an epic battle for the lead, but Thomas Harmon just lost out a little bit. I think he just got a little bit too tight at one point, as he is rim riding here now, trying to get the momentum advantage once more. Maybe he knew that we went to a commercial break, so he went to cool out his tires to try and make the move on camera. You see Thomas Harmon trying everything he can to close this gap without running the same line as John Lizelle. Because you know what they say, if you want to try and win, do what the people in front of you are not. And that's exactly what Thomas Harmon is trying right now. Rim riding that thing going through turns of 1 and 2. You want to be careful he's not getting too high. A lot of marbles in the top of the track. And it'd be very easy for him to slip up in the marbles and hit the fence. I think the strategy is working out for him, running the higher line, riding the momentum and catching the draft of John Lizelle. It's helping more in turns 1 and 2 than it is in 3 and 4. But look at him on the entry of turn 1. He has closed that gap up incredibly. John Lizelle still running that lower line, trying to take the advantage that the lower line provides. You know, obviously being a shortcut around the track. And John Lizelle starting to get smart to it, not giving the draft to Thomas Harmon on the back straight. Thomas says, I'm not here to play your silly games. I'm still going to draft you on the front straight. And if you don't want to draft me on the back straight, that's fine. Although, look at the gap now. Such a contrast going into turn 1 compared to what it was last lap, when John Lizelle did give Thomas Harmon the draft on the back straight. And now Thomas following the draft as John Lizelle's moving around on the track. He says, all right, if you're not going to give it to me, I'll give it to myself. Look at how close he is to the fence there. This is an epic battle with just 17 laps to go now. And you know what? Let's watch this one from the gyro cam inside of Thomas Harmon's car. as they come up on the lap car of Mark Pentacuff. Both of them forced to go low line this time as Mark goes high. And it looks like Thomas Harmon might actually get a little bit balked here by the lap car. He does. And this is going to provide an advantage for John Lozelle, because this is turns 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 that Thomas Harmon has not been able to run his own line, and he got balked a little bit on the front stretch. That opened up the gap to about 0.3 of a second now. Although now Thomas Harmon running the low line once more, trying to stay in the draft the whole way around the track. Let's go to the bumper cam here on the back of the 23 truck. Watch Thomas Harmon. See what he does this time going into 3 and 4. Thomas Harmon not quite getting as low as what John Lozelle is in 3 and 4. Lozelle really rim riding that line on the inside of the track. Catfishing, as I like to call it. And John Lozelle actually taking a lot of a wider line into turns 1 and 2. He just tries to break the draft once more. Thomas Harmon sticking to it. Going to have 13 laps to go this time at the line. Thomas Harmon is going to have to start pulling out all the stops if he wants this win. And Ken Campbell still sitting in 3rd. Brian Pizzakemi in 4th right now with Kyle Kraus in 5th. Those guys who still have a set of tyres in the bank looking pretty good right now. Although Brian Pizzakemi is actually not one of those with a spare set of tyres in the bank. Ken Campbell and Kyle Kraus are. It is, unless Brian Pizzakemi, when he came down to the pits the first time, only got fuel and just sat around in the pits for a little bit, wanting to be at the back of the pack. I know how much Brian Pizzakemi likes to fight his way through the pack. It's around a lap car of Brian Burchett, goes our 2 leaders. John Lozelle doing everything that he needs to do right now to maintain this lead. Trying to get his first win around here at Charlotte. As we're now 10 laps to go in this race. 90 laps down, 10 to go. And look at how close Thomas Harmon is to John Lozelle now. Now, if John Lozelle's been smart in this run, he's been looking after his tyres the whole time. He hasn't been pushing them too hard. So I'm pretty sure Thomas Harmon has been pushing the absolute limit just about every single lap. There'll be a lot of heat in the right front tyres right now, especially for the 38 of Thomas Harmon, who looks like he's starting to drop off a little bit. Thomas Harmon looks like he is absolutely starting to lose pace with our leader, John Lozelle. To open up the radio here, see if we can hear what the drivers are talking about. If they're talking at all in these final few laps. Thomas Harmon now going back to the high line, the place where he got so much momentum on John Lozelle. Because following in your tyre marks isn't working out for me in 1 and 2. But I'll still follow you down in 3 and 4. But it makes me wonder about the state of the tyres for these drivers. It doesn't look like anyone's doing any talking at all. Our leaders are just about to hit some heavy lap traffic as well. Sam Niederhelm, James Watson and Jonas Marquez just up ahead. In fact, it's just Watson and Niederhelm up ahead. With Brian Burchett, who I think has just come out of the pits. He did just come out of the pits. So obviously Burchett having a little bit of dramas, going for a pit stop. But the lap traffic could absolutely change the scope of this race, as we have now 5.5 laps left to go in this race. See the 2 lap cars, Niederhelm and Watson, staying on the high line to provide the inside line for the leaders. 5 to go at the start-finish line. This is where this race is going to start getting really exciting. And the one thing that could ruin it all is a late race caution. As John Lizelle gets around Sam Niederhelm very quickly, and that's going to balk Thomas Harmon going into turn 3. James Watson gets into the fence as he's letting the leaders by. It's going to give Sam Niederhelm a position. Or maybe not, Sam Niederhelm actually a couple laps down. Should be fairly smooth sailing for our leaders now, unless they can catch up to Jonas Marquez before the end of this race. Marquez, who's sitting in 13th. We've only got 3 laps to go now in this race. The Autism is not for Wimps, 150 here from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. And Thomas Harmon has closed right up on John Lizelle now. John Lizelle possibly cooling out his tyres a little bit for these last couple of laps. We'll wait and see. But Thomas Harmon is there. John Lizelle taking a wider entry. He was probably seen if Thomas Harmon was going to take the high line, was going to try and take the line away from him. Smart strategy at play right now. 2 to go. It's the penultimate lap. Thomas Harmon is going to make a move. He's going to have to do it very shortly, or else he's just going to be stuck here in second. Not that Harmon needs a win, mind you. Instead, he is absolutely locked into the championship right now. There's no chance of him being kicked out of the chase. So come out of turn 4 for the penultimate time. It's a white flag last lap. Last chance to win it or wear it for John Lizelle. We've completed 148.5 miles. And it all comes down to this. And John Lizelle, I think, is out of fuel. Oh no, this is tragedy for John Lizelle. Thomas Harmon takes over the lead of this race, and he is going to win it. Thomas Harmon coming across the line. He's going to win here at Charlotte for the Autism is not for Wimps 150. And John Lizelle, after being so close. Oh, this is heartbreaking. He rolls across the line in 5th position. So close to getting his maiden win here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. So unlucky. 1 lap short on fuel. And that's all it takes. But here is Thomas Harmon, and he will be a happy chappy right now, as he's going to perform some burnouts on the front straight. He's got enough fuel, absolutely. With that, we're going to go to a commercial break right now. When we come back, we will have driver interviews, so make sure you guys stay tuned. All right, it's time for our Autism Awareness Hard Charger Award winner. And today's Hard Charger, actually surprisingly, is going to be the 8 car of Mr. Brian Harris. Brian, a little bit of contact early on in the race. You were the cause of the only caution of the race, and you managed to fight your way back through the field to get the Hard Charger Award. How do you feel, first and foremost?
Oh, it feels pretty great. The car was super fast early on. Still was up to good pace with the tires when they got worn out. Real unfortunate with the incident with Travis. I came up the track just a little bit trying to side draft him and got a little too close and spun him.
How bad was the damage after that incident?
I had 25 seconds repairs. It took very long to get back out there and get back up on the track.
All right, now let's talk about the race after that, because I can imagine that there's still a little bit of residual damage in the car. You were saying that the car was still fairly good on older tires. We did notice you were making some moves after that restart. That thing was an absolute rocket ship. Did it change the handling of the car, the damage?
No, it seemed to actually stay about the same. It was a lot faster than what I thought I was. Once the incident happened, I felt like I pretty much just had to try to make a move and make up for the mistakes for letting the team down at the start.
All right, Harris, let's look forward towards next week. The last round of the regular season where we go to the Worldwide Technology Raceway. What's the feeling like for you heading out to a track that we don't visit too very often?
It's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to it. Team's looking forward to it.
All right, Brian, before we let you go here tonight, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to?
I want to give a shout out to the ORL for putting this all together every week, and for the Blue Shoe America's team for putting together a really good truck for the week.
All right, well, thank you very much for coming out, Brian. Look forward to seeing what you can do next week when we go to Worldwide Technology Raceway.
Yeah.
All right, guys, so that was our Hard Charger Award winner for this week, Mr. Brian Harris in the 8 car. Coming up next, we have our third step on the podium. And our third place getter here tonight is the one, the only, the 15 of Ken Campbell. Ken, worldly strategy from you early on in the race during that caution period, staying out. And you were putting up one hell of a fight with the cars on fresher tires.
Yeah, I was actually surprised as many people went in as they did. Before that, I was just kind of riding around. I don't think I'd been at full throttle for the 8 laps before that, and so I was just trying to get it to a one-stop race. And then I saw everybody go in, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna die to the new tires that are coming in. But it looked like several of the guys just got fuel, and so I think that kind of saved me in the decision to stay out because there weren't that many guys that were coming up, and several of them it looked like by the time they were even getting up there, the tires were starting to equal out anyway, and so uh, didn't get too bad based off of that. But then obviously when I didn't take fuel and the other guys did, the pits cycle was a little different, so you didn't really know exactly where you were sitting, and I was surprised I got P3. Sorry to Lascelles with his fuel running out, so shouldn't be up here, but I'll take it.
This actually puts you in very good standing in the points as well. You're one of those drivers who is on the outside looking in for the championship. As I'm trying to find our little stats here. So you coming into this race was just 23 points out of the cut line. So this third place really going to boost you up there, especially with the absence of TJ Crampton in this race.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic if it does get me there. I'm not really looking for it. I kind of came in a little bit late and didn't get to run some of the first races, so I haven't really been focused on playoffs at all. I just want to come in and improve every week, and I feel like I'm getting better. Kill my right front, so obviously there's still a lot of work to do, but just looking to improve, and if I make it in the playoffs, fantastic, and if I don't, that's fine too.
Well, mate, as I said, you're definitely looking in good standing to do it. And just having a look at your career stats right now, and you got one win, 7 top 5s, 23 top 10s, but we can change that now to 8 top 5s and 26 top 10s in your 47 race career. So you're one of the fresher guys here in this series, but you've definitely been making a mark.
Yeah, it's it just coming in and wanting to improve every week and sneak away with a podium every now and then just to remind guys that I'm here.
Absolutely, mate. But let's look forward to next week when we go into Worldwide Technology Raceway. What's the feeling like for you heading into what is a fairly difficult track?
I actually like Gateway. It is difficult. 1 and 2 is completely different from 3 and 4. I don't like flat tracks, and so 3 and 4 not too big a fan of. But it's a different track, and yeah, it's difficult. But a lot of the difficult tracks, it's difficult to pass at, and I feel like Gateway is a difficult track to run, but it's still kind of easy to pass. And so I'm really looking forward to it. I don't know how well I'll run, but I plan on enjoying it for sure.
All right, mate. Before we let you go here tonight, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to?
Just everybody here at the league. It's a really fun league to be a part of, and I learn a lot racing against these guys week in, week out. So really fun league. Appreciate Jerry and everybody for putting it on, and you up in the booth.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming out, Ken. We look forward to seeing what we can do next week at Gateway, and good luck.
Thanks, man.
All right, guys. So that
Have a
was
good
a
one.
15 of Ken Campbell, today's third place getter, and just reminding everyone that he's still here and he's still hunting for wins. Coming up next, we're going to be getting our second place getter. And if he had actually qualified, he would have been the Hard Charger Award winner. But we won't hold that against him because he's just an awesome guy altogether. Of course, it's a 78 of Mr. Brian Pizzakemi. Brian, you beat out the Hard Charger by 10 positions, going up 15 for the race. And you come home with second place, which is a rarity for you a little bit. Um, especially since you really got gifted here with John Lazelle running out of fuel there on the last lap.
Yeah, when Lizelle said he was short, we were all going, "Well, how short is he? Is he going to make it to the last lap?" So yeah, I mean, I got gifted that extra spot, so I feel bad for him. I mean, I think he was leading for most of the race. Kind of a bummer to see it fall apart at the end. Been there a few times myself, so I understand. I get the feeling, but I'll take it. I was expecting a top 3, and I was going to take that.
Right now, I'm just having a little look at the points here. You're 94 points off of the lead. Second place is going to put you in pretty good standing to just about be locked into the chase for the championship.
Yeah, that was a main thing tonight was just make sure it was a solid run because I wanted to make sure I was locked in. I know there was a few spots that could easily be lost if I had a bad night. So it's just a matter of being consistent and there when it counted.
But let's talk about the race now, because we noticed that you went into the pits during that first caution. Did you get tires and fuel, or did you just get fuel only? Because it looked like you
I
were working your way through the field pretty hard.
I honestly I I debated on taking tires and at the last second I turned them off and just took fuel because it was like, well, if it's lap 13, it's a toss up. Really, it's a gamble at that point because if you take tires, you'll go to the front, but also having to work through all the traffic, you might stuff your stuff even more. So it's just a matter of balance. So I just ended up taking fuel and just kind of riding around until everyone started to burn off their tires and work my way through the field.
All right, now let's look forward towards next week. Going to be going to the Worldwide Technology Raceway, or as us purists like to call it, Gateway. What's the feeling like for you heading into Gateway next week?
Yeah, that I'm a little nervous because I don't know how many races I've done there, but I can probably less than 2. So I'm not not confident in that track. So we'll see what happens. I think mainly it's just about not burning up the tires there and just kind of making sure I I don't find a wall.
All right, Brian, before we let you go here tonight, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to?
Shout out to you for the broadcast as always. You do a phenomenal job. Shout out to all the drivers because this setup had a tendency to be loose, and for it to only have one caution, I applaud everyone for keeping it underneath them. And shout out to everyone out there watching. Hopefully, we'll put on a good show.
Oh, I think we absolutely did, and it kept me riveted the whole race. So, yeah, an excited commentator always makes for great commentary. Anyway, mate,
That is true.
thank you very much for coming out tonight. Congratulations on getting second. Look forward to seeing what you can do next week when we head to Gateway.
All right, thanks, Corey.
All right, guys, that was our second place getter here tonight. 78 of Mr. Brian Pizzakemi. And yeah, I never know if I actually say his name right, but we'll just roll with it. I mean, it's better than me calling him Pizza Chemicals like I normally do. But coming up next, we have our championship leader and someone who absolutely got kicked with a free kick here tonight. Of course, we're talking about the 38 of Thomas Harmon. Thomas, fuel strategy came out in your favor here tonight. How was the race from your perspective?
Uh, Overall, not bad. Just frustrating when you get behind somebody though, because the arrow push was pretty bad, and the trucks are just so even that you couldn't do much once you got off the bottom. But I mean, overall, fun race. Wish would have had more trucks to pass, but it happens.
It looked like when you were starting to try that higher line, you were starting to gain the advantage on John Lizelle there, and then once he started darting out of the way on the back straight to cut off your draft, that's when things started to get a little bit more difficult for you later in the run.
Yeah, that was about the same time that the tires started giving up on me on the outside, so I wasn't getting anywhere near as big a run as what I was off. So I'd have to drop down and let the tires cool. And fortunately, I was able to stay close enough to him to take advantage of him sputtering in fuel on the last lap there.
Now, how close were you on fuel? Because obviously, John sputtered and he ran out of gas there on the final lap. So I could imagine that you were probably pretty close yourself.
Oh no, I had like another 12, 13 laps. He tried to short fuel it, which explains why he was still 2, 3 seconds ahead of me when he came out of the pits. And after I'd after I had had a fresher or 1 lap fresh tire advantage, so I should have closed in on him by about a second and a half, but I didn't. And I knew he short pitted or not short pitted, but short fueled. I just didn't think he shorted it by that much.
I just want to point out to everyone, words are hard, and we don't hold it against anyone at all. But
Very
yeah,
hard, especially the short ones.
but it looked like it was definitely a very interesting race for yourself, especially after that first caution, getting mired in the traffic a little bit of the older tires. Did you take tires on that first stop?
I did not. I just took fuel only because I knew that would loosen the truck up, and fortunately, it was enough to loosen it up enough for me to stay at the front or
All
towards
right.
the front rather.
So that explains why you were having a little bit of trouble getting around some of those drivers. But how was it like when you did finally get around them all and got into second and just looking at that gap between yourself and Lizelle?
My goal was to maintain. I did a mediocre job of it, but I knew I'd used up too much of my stuff, and he had fresh tires, so I knew he had a tire advantage there. Um, my goal was just to maintain, not let him get too far ahead, and try to overtake him on the pits.
All right, now let's look forward towards next week. Going to be going to Gateway, or as the people like to call it these days, the Worldwide Technology Raceway. What's the feeling like for you as we head towards Gateway for the final round of the regular season?
Um, I guess technically it's the closest thing I have to a home field track, but I'm okay there. We'll see. I have no love or no hate for it, so we'll show up and run a race and hopefully win again.
All right, well, before we let you go here tonight, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to tonight, Thomas?
Yep. Shout out to you up in the booth, all the fans that watch every week, all the drivers that show up, the league admins, and Avril on the truck.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming out. Congratulations on getting the win here at Charlotte. Look forward to seeing what you can do next week when we head to Gateway Raceway. I think it's Raceway.
I think that's it.
Anyway, we'll see you next week.
See you, Corey. I'll be there.
All right, so that was our winner tonight, the 38 Thomas Harmon, and he is pretty much sewn up as the regular season champion as we head towards Gateway next week. I think even if he has a disaster, he will still wrap up the regular season points. But that is going to do it for us here tonight. It's been a fantastic race around here at Charlotte. It's always a fantastic race when we come to the Charlotte Motor Speedway. So until next week, I've been your commentator, the Aussie Sim commentator. We'll see you guys at Gateway.